Yo, what's going on, guys? Tom for 2 here, or Chessman Lost Ark. Today I'm going to be doing a video going over the Serca raid, both normal mode and hard mode, kind of from a Paladin's perspective. I think I've gone through um, many videos before just on like what my POV is like, but here's like kind of my commentary and background of shot calling, buff timings, um, DR windows, which mechs to look out for, etc. So yeah, just gonna do a little bit of a VOD review. Feel free to get your popcorn, sit back if you're a new player, and if you're just seeing this raid for the first time. Here's just some good support notes if you're experienced them. Here's just some reminders, or if there's things that you didn't know before, you can pick up here and leave a comment if you see anything that I might be doing not as efficiently. So yeah, let's dive right into it. I've been playing with Sumzu, Tonga Truck, and Slades. Those are kind of the static that I went in and do hard mode pretty consistently every single week. So we got a pretty good grasp of the raid now. So I think at this point my support is at 17 like 60 eye level. It's got 2 or 3 level 10 gems on the damage buff, so you'll see. I could probably link the build somewhere later, but off the rip, Circa Gate 1. Boss is going to be doing brooms, so you just need to dodge the telegraphs. Here's really good window for dark. You just want to make sure as a support you're cycling your buffs as efficiently as possible. I generally try to DR kind of the 6 o'clock position as well, just in case there are back attackers that you are playing with. So here I believe she did brooms twice. As soon as you see her text and she starts to do the next mech, I like to awaken just in case some allies that might get caught. It helps reset my buff, my Blessed Aura. So here, yeah, we just have to go behind, some little extra shielding for anyone who gets caught. I probably did a little bit early there, but you get the point. So here you're just continuing. You want to make sure to hit your guards because that brings down the stagger meter. Especially as a paladin, I use 2 blue skills. Those are both my counter skills, but I'm always throwing them out just because it helps manage the stagger bar and decrease it as fast as possible. So as you can see, our DPS is pretty good. I already use a dark as well. We're going to the next mech, so I'm not going to review like the total like mech, but here, just recall there's some safe spots. As a support, you want to focus on obviously landing the guards. Obviously, there's going to be two of her slams that are going to be the first time, and then one of them is going to be fake. As a support, I'm going to be making sure that I rotate my buffs as efficiently as possible. There are DPS out there who love to greed at this part. We obviously, I think this bot was a little bit early on, so just be aware. You have DPS, you want to greed, you just want to slap your brand and your damage buff skill every so often. So here, we're just hitting the guards. And you see I at least use my brand skill. Try to build some meter. This was fake. Just considering the fact that not many of us are greeting right now, I didn't really need to be so, aware or cognizant of just, using my buff skill there, just focus on getting the guard. So here, the chandelier, you just want to make sure you dodge, make sure you have your shield or DR in case someone gets hit. As a support, I like to stand in front. I usually try to be the one responsible for hitting these counters. You allow your DPS to just greed a lot more. This is a good mech to just DR. You can push your unit. In case you have melee DPS who can't make the size or just front and back still. So see here, I'm aggroed. I usually like to take it off to the side that's already breaking. That way your DPS can just freely stand near the boss if it's in a convenient spot. You're mostly just trying not to aim it at your teammates. Before the wall mech, so the slamming doors mech, if I have Awakening, I always try to use it here before because I get the reset timing and it takes a while to play the mech. You can't actually hit the boss. So I usually just pop Awakening just to make sure I have full meter. Otherwise, you have a window to just use a brand and like a buff skill because your DPS can maybe get like 1 or 2 skills off. So always try to like just buff there. I won't go into the specifics of the slamming doors mech, but there's only like 3 different variations of the pattern. I think you just need to kind of play it and get used to it. Just make sure you're I guess avoiding the traps on the floor, but then yeah, just avoiding the slamming doors, and you can see like we just moved all the way up, so it's pretty easy. Here, just consistently yeah, try to maintain good uptime. This is a good dark window here just because she's targetable and she's just closing the arena a little bit smaller. So your DPS can greed a little bit. Now, as soon as the minefield kind of starts, as a support, I always try to be the one who pings the safe spot for my DPS. DPS are usually the ones who want to greed and they're not always going to be aware where the safe spots might be. So here, I know I ping kind of late, but I'm just trying to like help the DPS pretty much get the get to the safe spot fast. As a support too, I might just miss this mech, but this mech where she puts the anvil down, someone might get caught. This one's a little bit tough because you have to kind of be quick about it. You have to have some fast reflexes for it. I try to usually get it. Luckily, some do got it, but I think I would have been able to get it, casting my blue skill right on the edge of it. So, red skills, if you're in comms, I always like to ping, but at this point, I think most people just have to recognize which one it is. Don't stay too close, otherwise you'll get knocked back. But yeah, this is just a backside safe. Just follow her. It's a good mech. Try to use your DR or push immune skills. Failed there, but most kits have a DR or a push immune skill. Continuing to maintain good uptime at this part, especially it's just a sitting boss. Doesn't have to do anything. Another Minesweeper game. Making sure our DPS can greed. I'm kind of calling out. We're in comms, so I'm just calling out like which spot is safe. This mech, you could definitely push immune. It doesn't hurt too bad, I don't think. I've never had issues with it, unless your support just doesn't provide DR or anything. So at like 108, 100, 105 bars, she's going to do the mech where you have to play kind of the hopscotch, get to the safe spot. There is a timing that you want to use for your hyper. So this part, usually I have, we go and split in 2 and 2 just because that way we have enough spots to kind of walk. If you're in comms, it's a lot easier, but generally people will kind of follow the leader here. So I'm just gonna walk with Tonga Truck on this part. Now the hyper window is right when that that bomb starts to shake. That's when you generally want to use your hyper. The boss is actually gonna spawn right in the middle. So if you aim your hyper towards the middle, you'll get some of the damage off. But as soon as I see it jiggle, just pop your hyper. Get the damage off. Especially as a support, if you hyper there, any DPS who might have gotten nicked, if they're able to survive until like after I'm able to cast it, they won't get any of that tick damage from the spikes. Unfortunately, Tonga Truck there, I don't think he made the safe spot. He kind of mistimed the hyper awakening, but it's all chill. Unfortunately, the support hyper does not. I think we were just figuring out that the support hyper does not save you from that. So the arena gets smaller. This is again a really good DPS window, and then she's gonna disappear. I wouldn't recommend darking here, but just like full sending DPS. Just making sure that we have our counters available for this end phase. Just another follow. I usually like to put these tethers for this mech on the outside. She's always going to slam the front side, so always the safe spot is definitely the back side. But make sure you try to do your best to point all the lines outside. Just helps your DPS greed a little bit better, right? Without fearing of getting hit. Push immune. Missed the guard there, but it's all good. Do the slam. If anyone gets hit by the slam, you generally want to shield or use a DR skill there. Here we just hit the brawl. So typically before you enter brawl, you want to use your T skill right before going in. So if you notice the stagger bar is really close, just pop your T skill. The cooldowns are a lot faster in the brawl mode. So here I pop it right before going in, which is really good. Make sure we have my meter up before going in as well. We're probably going to kill the boss here, so here's when you pop all your buffs. Make sure your brand, your buffs are on. DPS are just going to do the rest. I usually call out who's throwing dark, right? If you're especially in comms. Otherwise, I usually myself just try to save a dark just because a lot of people who pug tend to forget. Make sure we land the guard. Full send your buffs again. If you are a little bit lacking of DPS and you already have dark on, you already have meter on, if you see your paladin meter, your blessed aura meter running out, I always bring a stimmy. If you are still like, you know, struggling with getting the second checkpoint, pop your stimmy and just use your blessed aura again. Just help maintain full blessed aura and extra damage buffs. And here I think we just killed it in the brawl. So, but yeah, you just continue to pop your cooldowns, pop your skills off cooldown as you are going into going to the third checkpoint. So that's gate 1. That was just a quick speed run. This is what my typical like runs look like when, especially if we're in like a static group. So yeah, let's start. Let's just skip to the next part. Gate 2. So gate 2, I change up my battle items a little bit. Sometimes on my paladin, depending on our party, I might switch up my engravings. Just because the stagger check, the 240 mech is always like the biggest hurdle to get through for everyone. So I always bring the Serca like stagger and damage item. Darks depends on how DPS is. DPS is generally pretty good, but I'm just gonna bring them anyways since But yeah, you could toggle between whirlwinds and darks. Is very situational if your party is lacking damage versus stagger. I think my paladin does pretty good with stagger. So, and I'm pretty confident. I was pretty confident that we could just pass it. But yeah, otherwise you just continue to use stimmy in case of brawl mode again. So here off the rip, again, just pop your buffs. Always starts out with the same pattern, the swipe. So you can just use your push, whatever paralysis immune, push immune skills, all that sort of stuff. This is side safe, so make sure you stay on the sides. As you can see, I'm also popping my blue skills, just because it helps with the stagger meter. Now he's gonna do this mech, these like checkered lines. I'm noticing that my party doesn't have shields, so I'm immediately going to try to awaken, just so that helps mitigate some of that damage. As a support, you want to try to use your push immune skills and get to the front. Sometimes you can't always rely on your DPS to also get to the front, especially if they're like hitmasters or back attackers. So for me, my perspective, I always try to make it to the front, and then always shoot out your counters. Luckily, Slays was there to hit it after I shot it out a little bit early. Damage is pretty fast. Typically, I like the dark right after this part, but you just want to make sure you land the space bar. This mech, you can see they swipe the entire side, so about the 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock spot is safe. Just make sure you dodge these. Just make sure you don't stay in front of them. I always like to try to maintain DR for my DPS as well, because you never know what might knock them up. It's better to be proactive than reactionary. ping for your team if you're able to land the spacebar. Otherwise, yeah, we had 2 people who didn't make it, so who messed up the spacebar. So always just ping for them. Another one of these mechs where I'm gonna do my best to just stay in front. I tried to use shields for my DPS, and then you are the kind of responsible for getting the counter. This mech, I always be the one who tries to hit the guard. You only have to try to hit one of the guards, I believe. But as a support, I'm the one who's just standing in front, making sure to land it. That way, any of these DPS, they're kind of safe. I noticed that we're past the 240 bar mech, so I'm just making sure I use my awakening just to get as much meter as I can before we go into the cutscene, because I could always regain it during that pattern. Toughest mech in Gate 2, right here. So everyone goes to their clock position, right? Typically, I like to stay on the side. You don't stand directly in front. You stand kind of in the side. Now, obviously, I didn't do that there, but someone's going to ping, or you can see kind of the blood gushing, but you just rally there. Hit the guard. I always cast only 1 or 2 skills. 1 or 2 skills, so I'm using my 2 blue skills, and I'll probably try to throw my 3rd Serca item. But here, at this point, I'm not even watching the front boss. I'm watching the 2 side ones. I noticed that she puts the sword down, so it's going in a clockwise position, right? If it's up, then it goes in a counterclockwise position. Because they're down, we go to the clockwise position. I always try to ping for my allies in case they're not watching. Make sure you hit the guard. Always guard, then move. Don't bother trying to greed. Stay in the safe spot. Let's wait again. Recast my blue skills. Got it. A little messy there. I think it was bugged a little bit at the time for this, but I can replay it. Generally, it's a little cleaner than this, but I'll just replay the entire mech so you guys can see. Ping. Try to use your buff skills as well. 2 skills. It's down. Ping clockwise. The guard. Goes exactly to the safe spot. Guard. I don't know why it showed another like guard telegraph there. Got him. But here, once you pass this pattern, everyone just continue to DPS. Make sure you have good uptime as a support with your buffs. I'm not using as many darks yet. I'm pretty sure I'm saving. Pretty sure I'm just saving for brawl at this point and for like the end phase. Stagger make it pretty easy to handle here. Otherwise, this boss is pretty much just a slap, you know. Make sure you hit the spacebar here as a support. Oh, I didn't make it. Again. Someone's gotta get it. I think no one even got that. The timing is a little bit quick on this one. So here is when you want a spacebar. I obviously spacebarred too late, but this is when you want a spacebar. Spacebarred way too late. No one even got it, so we're gonna eat a lot of damage. This is outside in, so if the flame is in the inside, you stay outside then go inside. If it's opposite, if the flame is on the outside, then you stay inside then go out. 190 mech is very important. 190 bars you hit, she's gonna back up, boss is gonna back up. It's up to you as a support to dodge the AoE first, then get in front to hit the guards, go out, wait until she slams her sword, and then right after you're gonna counter, and then you stay in front for the next guard. So here, you could, I typically, I missed it. Oh yeah, I got the second one at least. I missed the first one. But yeah, as you can see, the AoE is pretty wide. I think we're still getting used to AoE. But yeah, as a support, it's pretty much your job to just stay in front. That's essentially what I'm saying. But yeah, the mech here, it's up to you to kind of hit the guards. Stand outside, she's gonna do the pounds, right? After she does the big slam with her sword, get in front for the counter, and then stay in front for the guard. That's pretty much the whole sequence, and it brings down a lot of the stagger bar, which is why it's important to land it. We obviously missed one of the guards, so it's not a big deal, but, you know, could be better. No one really brings Koros or Destructions for this part. I don't know, I never bothered. I don't even know what it does to break the Destruction check, I guess. Just making sure you DR anybody who's caught in the front. Another spacebar mech. Right after it does a swing, the front and back indicators will show up after that one, so that's when you need to hit the counter. Whenever she does the bird flaps, if you have Awakening, feel free to use it. I think it's always just a good time to use your Awakening. Otherwise, just try to DR your DPS as much as they can in case they get pushed out. Try to get out of the front side. Luckily, I was able to just DR myself. You see, we're trying to speed up the fight here. So now I'm out of darks. Back cone. So just a DPS check on the backside with the cone. Make sure you at least save one buff for that, for your DPS. So you see, I'm sending all my blue skills just to get the stagger bar down as much as possible. So here we hit 120 bars. So 120 bars is obviously the mech. You gotta find the clone. As you can see, the best way that I can find the clone is if you see it fully kind of, there's no like, it's not like completely dark. It's got some white, especially around the beak. So that one was pretty easy to find. Make sure you don't tweak here. Just make sure you stand still. Typically, I like to just have a fail-safe option of just hypering. So usually we go through one rotation of damage, and then as soon as you see the puddles on the ground, you just use your hyper. Always try to use your T skill before hypering, by the way. So yeah, here we see this. You saw the puddles. Send hyper. This is out in. Hopefully we hit brawl soon, but typically you hit brawl a little bit earlier. This is front side safe to dodge the puddles. Another stagger pattern.
Right.
Make sure as a support, when you see the pentagon in the lines, as a support, I think it's your responsibility to kind of get in front. So, or it's at least I feel like it's my responsibility to get in front because the DPS can't always get in front. They're just DPSing. So, I try to be the one who gets the guard.
There, sir. Try stagger.
Here, just trying to full send stagger, so we can hit the brawl. I call it probably don't have dark. I don't even have my Blessed Star up, but get it up as soon as possible. Here, just full send buffs. The guard here's a little tricky. All you have to do is move your mouse over to which side it's on. So here, you can see the triangles on this side. So the flat side means you have to move your mouse to the other side. And then there's a second guard. It's a lot easier with the telegraphs, honestly. Here, full send buffs again. DPS usually aggro here, but I'm trying to just reset my Blessed Aura here, so that's why I awakened. Now that we're in the third checkpoint, it's pretty much just smooth sailing from here, so we're just smacking the thing until it's dead. 2 bars left. I don't think it's going to do that pattern. There's that pattern that she was about to do, where she flies up in the air and she does a little triangle. As a support, I always try to like at least DR shield my DPS because for whatever reason we always get damaged by it. So always just DR there and then play the Velganos pizza pattern, so just rotate around the safe spots. But that's pretty much a wrap. That's the entire raid. You're just DPSing it until it hits 0. So there you have it. There's Gate 1 and Gate 2 of Serca from Paladin's perspective. Hopefully that commentary backseating kind of helped in some regard. But for everyone still sticking around, hope you guys enjoyed. And be sure to stick around for the next Lost Ark video. Peace.